Inside a quiet home in Chula Vista, police discovered a makeshift altar. On it sat a photograph of a husband and wife, covered in dark red wax, splattered with apparent blood, and surrounded by lit candles. In the months before she disappeared, Maya Millete had moved into a separate room to sleep. It was there that she began discovering small, hidden speakers tucked away beneath her bed, placed there by her husband Larry without her knowledge. While she slept, these speakers looped what Larry's internet search history described as subliminal wife training. The audio tracks repeated messages like, "I love you," and "No more men," over a background of white noise. These were not merely eccentric quirks. They were the indicators of a mind consumed by total psychological possession, attempting to exert control even over a spouse's subconscious. In her professional life, Maya Millete operated in a world of high-stakes logistics. She was a successful civilian contract specialist for the United States Navy and a devoted mother to 3 young children. She and Larry had been married for 21 years, building what appeared to be a standard suburban life in sunlit San Diego County. But the marriage was failing. Maya had reached a breaking point, and on January 7th, 2021, the same day she reached out to a divorce attorney, she vanished. Larry told police and Maya's family that she had simply packed her things and voluntarily abandoned her children. Investigators immediately challenged that claim. Maya had left behind her ID, debit cards, and vehicles, and she was in the middle of active preparations for her daughter's birthday party. Forensic specialists recognized this lack of personal essentials as a hallmark of foul play, rather than a voluntary departure. Larry's attempts to control Maya began with surveillance. When he suspected she was pulling away, he planted a spare cell phone inside her vehicle to secretly track her movements. When digital stalking failed to fix the marriage, he turned to esoteric intervention. This chart plots the escalation of Larry's online activity, tracking over $1,100 spent on digital spellcasters in the months leading up to the disappearance. The early data points show requests born of desperation. Larry begged practitioners to cast binding spells that would unconditionally force Maya back into the relationship. As the divorce became inevitable, the requests turned malevolent. Larry demanded spells to incapacitate Maya, specifically asking practitioners to break her bones so she would be physically unable to leave the house. Right before she vanished, Larry took a final, darker step. He asked a relative to help him find someone who could, quote, get the guy, a man he suspected Maya was seeing, offering up to $20,000 for the task. This shift from digital surveillance to physical incapacitation, it tracks the transition from manipulation to homicidal ideation. It reveals a specific psychological profile, a controller whose desperation turned violent as his influence dissolved. The terminal event likely occurred on the afternoon of January 7, when Maya made a phone call to a divorce attorney. The household environment that night was bizarre. Neighbors reported hearing up to 9 loud bangs around 10 p.m., while audio recordings captured the unusual sound of the Millete children playing outside in the cold. At 6:45 a.m., Larry was seen maneuvering his SUV. He repositioned the vehicle to block the security camera's view of the rear hatch. He then departed the residence for more than 11 hours. During this window, his cell phone was deactivated, leaving no digital data to trace his movements. When police eventually impounded that SUV, forensic analysis of the odometer revealed an unexplained discrepancy. Larry had driven between 444 and 692 miles, a distance his Solana Beach alibi could not account for. While investigators seized Larry's arsenal of firearms, they noted a single missing weapon, a .40 caliber handgun. The deactivated phone, the obscured trunk, and hundreds of unaccounted miles point away from a spontaneous crime. The evidence details a highly organized instrumental concealment. Following the night of the disappearance, the barrage of emails and obsessive behaviors that had defined Larry's previous months abruptly stopped. He had spent months messaging spellcasters daily to save his marriage. After January 7, he never contacted one again. His behavior toward the search was equally revealing. Larry remained calm, refused to assist Maya's family in their efforts, and actively discouraged them from reporting her missing to the police. To forensic psychologists, this is a major behavioral tell. An obsessive controller only ceases their attempts to track and manipulate their victim when they believe the target has been permanently removed. Larry Millete's trial is scheduled for 2026. The prosecution must overcome the legal hurdle of corpus delicti, securing a murder conviction in a case where the victim's body has never been found. District Attorney Summer Stephan's strategy relies on weaving these psychological red flags and digital breadcrumbs into an airtight narrative. Coercive control is a progression. It begins with subliminal whispers and digital stalking before it escalates to violence. While Maya's body remains missing, the psychological need to possess her left a digital footprint too massive for Larry